Alright, so I'm finally going to make a little video explaining all the strategies that I use to speedrun solo 390 Crotas End. So I am on a Titan for this. I would recommend being on a Titan, because all the strategies kind of revolve around Titan. I start off on Striker. I'll go over my subclasses first. So my subclass looks like this. I have Flashbang on. I'm eventually going to switch to Pulses, but I start on Flashbang. Increase control for speed. I run Death from Above for the power slide. I don't really know what's going on with this, but I don't think this one really matters. But Overload, you don't really use the melee. I'm running Max Armor, so Unstoppable, Shoulder Charge, and Juggernaut aren't that useful. And Transfusion's also really nice, so you can get health with your melee. This subclass, I'm going to put it on later, right before Crota. I run Spike Grenades, which help you down Crota, and they're also really good for ad control. This, for speed again, you want to have Weapons and Illuminated on, so that you have maximum sword damage. Bastion increases the duration of Ward of Dawn, and I run Unbreakable too. Unbreakable makes your Force Barrier, your shield that you get, recharge, so it's really nice for whenever you're doing damage to Crota. It stops you from dying. For the first part of this, I have a Scout Rifle and a Sniper on. They're going to help me with the Ogre. I would recommend having a, also if you just have Burning Eye, this is a Treads Upon Stars. It just has E rounds. Any Scout Rifle with E rounds, and maybe crowd control is going to be nice. It doesn't really matter. Burning Eye is cool. I also would recommend having a hand cannon with E rounds, because I put it on later. It's really nice later on to one-shot the Acolytes to the head. And usually I would use this Matador with Final Round Full Auto, but just to keep it simple, I'll use Found Verdict. That's what my Found Verdict looks like. It's a really accessible shotgun. Comes from Vault of Glass. And my Sniper, you could just use Ex Machina. Ex Machina would be fine. This is, I don't even know if this does more damage than Ex Machina, but I like the Sniper, so I'm going to get running it. For my sword, you could just have Raise Lighter. You don't need two swords, but what I like to do is, at some point, you're going to want to have a sword with a double scabbard, so you have maximum ammo. And then eventually, I'm going to switch on Raise Lighter, because you do need Raise Lighter. You're going to run Warrior of Light on it. And what you could do is you could just keep on Raise Lighter the entire time and just put on double scabbard, and then whenever it comes to the point where you need Warrior of Light, you can just go in and switch it on. But I like to just have two swords, so I can just swap back and forth. It's faster. You're going to want to have Memory of Radagast and Memory of Felwinter. This artifact that I'm wearing right now isn't really that important. It just helps my stats. Your stats aren't that important during this run. The only thing that's really important is in this first part, trying to have Tier 5 Intellect. Tier 5 Intellect is going to help you get your super faster, so you can Power Slide at the end of Abyss. You don't need to hit the Power Slide. It doesn't save that much time. If you just want to get like a sub 20 390 solo, then you don't need the Power Slide, but I'm going to go for it. I'm wearing full Crota gear too. The only thing that's really important is the boots, because they're going to help make the jump on bridge. But that's pretty much the loadout. Just go ahead and get this shit started. Make sure I don't have a checkpoint. Alright, we're good. Also, another important thing to mention is that I am going to be using the Emote Breach and the PDR as well. PDR can be done with either the Boo emote or the Howl emote. I'd recommend learning both of these tricks before going in for a speedrun. But I'll also link some resources for these two emote glitches in the description. I'll link some videos on kind of explaining them, how to do them, if I can find any. So I hit that little Twilight Garrison at the beginning, and then I kind of just skate to the plate. That was a pretty slow skate, but it should be alright. So I like to keep this artifact on because I have Tier 5 Intellect at the beginning, so I get as much super as possible. I am going to have to put on Radagast at some point here, but I'm going to do it later so I spend as long with Tier 5 Intellect as possible, because I put this on, my Intellect goes down to Tier 3. So this first part is, I'm going to use a speedrun trick where you sword fly over the Abyss. It's pretty tricky. It requires a lot of practice. It is pretty consistent if you learn it. Also, that's my audio cue. Whenever I hear that little sound effect, I jump. So, for the sword fly, I will also link probably some tutorials in the description. There's some you can find, but I think Sweatcicle has a tutorial on this. I think Rifle Gaming has a tutorial on the sword fly. It's a pretty well-known trick, but what I do is I like to look at that rock right there and just jump in. And then now, once I've been falling for a second, I go in here and I put on Radagast. Make sure you're holding your sword, because if you don't hold your sword, you won't get maximum ammo. then I put this on, and it should give me 101 shots. So this part, like Gary, then I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is fine, but you can do 8 to be safe. Then once you do 8, you turn a little bit to the right, 9, turn a little bit to the right. And once you do 10, you can kind of just go hard to the right. And now you're going to look over to the right with your right stick, and you're going to aim for the plates, aim for the last lamp of the plate. And just keep doing these. Every single time I counted a number, my 1, 2, every single time I counted a number, I'm doing RB, RT. The way I like to do this is I like to spam the RB button, and then as soon as I see my my light swipe go off, I press RT. So I spam RB and then press RT as soon as I see the thing go off. So you can land right on the plate. Well, that was kind of scuffed. If you want to be safe, you can land next to the lamp first. You'll lose like 10 seconds, but you can sit next to the lamp in the beginning. And then also I'm going to take off that so I get back to tier 5 intellect. But if you want to be safe, you can land next to the lamp first. And lose your weight of darkness and then take this jump. But what I like to do, what's faster, is if you touch the plate first, then go to the lamp and lose your weight of darkness, and then jump back up here on this rock. So now, I am going to have to kill some Thrall to get my super for the power slide. Oh, I just reloaded too soon. But if you killed Thrall too fast, it'll make Wizard spawn for some reason, so you want to make sure you hold off on killing the Thrall. So once that ogre's dead, I like to start killing Thrall. Let's see. Once you kill a Thrall, it'll like respawn, so I like to... If I kill one Thrall, you can kind of look around, and if he respawns, you can kill him for free. The Thrall really like to hide from me on this part. It's kind of tough. There's a Thrall right there. But once I get my super, I turn around. It's also a good time to switch on the hand cannon, and the shotgun, and this. But as soon as you lose your weight of darkness, this is where you're going to hit the power slide. I put on Fellwinter, then I jump, slam, and then... That's a pretty good power slide. I don't really have any tips for the power slide. Just do exactly what I do. Follow the exact same timings. The power slide is just like the sword fly. It takes a lot of practice, but once you get it down, it can become pretty consistent. So now, once you land on this plate, it's probably a good time to take off Fellwinter. When I was standing on that rock and changing all my guns, I should have put on the buoy mode. I should have put on the buoy mode when I was in orbit, actually. That's a good time to do that. What you really want is, you really want to get a lot of ammo on this part. Sword ammo is really good, but the way I take this jump is I skate over to this, and then as soon as I hit this little white ring, I jump Twilight Gary, then I mash the A button, and then I double press the A button when I get to the end of the bridge. There's probably a better way to take that jump. That's just a little setup that I created. I'm sure, I don't know if anybody else does it that way, but that's just how I do it. When I get to the Gatekeeper, slam him 3 times, that'll kill him. And I stand right in between these 2 pillars, and as soon as I see a little bit of motion on my radar, I hit the PDR. Whenever I PDR, I want to make sure that I'm really close to those enemies over there, because if they're too far away from me, it might respawn me on the same side. I want to PDR next to an enemy because for some reason, whenever you PDR, the game, like, whenever you respawn, the game doesn't want to put you within, like, 10 meters of an enemy or something like that. So if there's enemies all around me, the game will just respawn me on the other side because there's no viable spawn locations over there. So I skate over here. As soon as I get to this little white ring, I jump Twilight Gary, then I mash the A button and double press it like that. That also takes a lot of practice. Now if you miss, like I just did, the way to save it is just to come over here. Your Titan Glide or your Titan Lift, it recharges while you're in the air. So, and so does your Twilight Garrison, so you pretty much, you can get a lot of air time. Next time I do a sword jump, I'll demonstrate. Well, actually, I can do it right now. You throw the flashbang grenade at that knight right there. Oh, I forgot to put the booty ammo back on. I like to throw the flashbang at that knight right there because he does a lot of damage, and it's kind of nice to just get rid of him. Kind of neutralize him. So as soon as you, another thing that I should mention, as soon as I hit the PDR and I click respawn, a good habit to get into is to immediately go in your inventory, put on the booty mode. So, let's go. Grab this. double press the A button. And then sword swing, Twilight Gary, sword swing. I forgot to mention those last inputs. As soon as I get over, I throw a flashbang grenade at this knight, and that should eliminate him from the equation. 3 slams for this guy. And then I like to go right here. Sometimes this knight follows you. I don't really know why he's got to be doing that right now. It's kind of annoying. You can kind of run around, just make sure you don't get too far away from the ads. Go to my inventory, put on the boo emote. Now if you have like literally no ammo at all, if nobody's dropping ammo, you can use your slam like right here. I wouldn't recommend using your slam on the 5th sword bearer, because if you do that, you might not get your slam in time for whenever you're gonna need it on Death Singer. But the slam can save you some time if you use it on the sword bearer. If you're getting bad luck with ammo, because killing the sword bearer with just a primary is really slow. So I'll go right here. That's the fourth. Fourth jump. Jump 5 times. Wait for this dude to spawn. I like to just stand right here in the doorway. If you stand in front of him, if you stand in front of his door whenever he spawns, sometimes he likes to do a little like taunt or something in the door, a little like emote. I don't know. They can kind of slow you down. That was such a bad jump. I might not make this. I didn't match the A button like I needed to. There we go, I made it still. Alright, a little bit of this. So now once you kill the 5th gatekeeper, if you have any sword left, well, I actually killed the Moon Knight, that's pretty lucky. If you have any sword left, you can use your sword super on the knight, or you can drop the sword and use Raise Lighter on him. So, now what I like to do is I like to go into my subclass and put on pulse grenades. They're really nice. Make sure that you also have the come at me emote on, in case you put it, oh, it's kind of slow on this part. The right knight comes out first, so I like to go right here and knights. Kind of training him up. Then once you get your sword, purpose of the pulse grenade is you're killing Thrall and knights with it, and that's going to help you charge your sword super a little bit faster. Slam, regular, or super, and then regular slam. We go over. Knights, but I'll talk about that when it happens. Or even the 4th one if you want. Don't have Dragon's Breath, but there's Blue Knights, by the way. I just do the same thing to them. Slam and then regular super. Or like regular slam. Super slam, dude. Kind of fumbling a little bit. So, yeah, I would say pop a heavy. I didn't pop a heavy synth. I actually, if I would have popped a heavy synth before the 5th sword bearer, I would have had more ammo than right now. Everything's working over here. That's pretty lucky, but you don't want to pop a heavy synth too late in the bridge encounter. Like whenever I kill the 5th sword bearer and these little swords right here pop up, I wouldn't want to go in my inventory and pop a heavy synth then. Or I've also made the mistake in the past of as soon as you kill the gatekeepers at the end of the sword party, whatever you want to call it, while this door is opening, I'll say, "Oh shoot, dude, I don't have any heavy ammo for my sword, so let me go pop a synth," which is a terrible idea because then it's possible for you to put Dragon's Breath on before Crota and then not get any ammo, and then you won't have any rockets to down Crota with, which is not what you want. But once this door opens, you just run over here, Make sure you have the come at me emote on, because you don't want to do the boo emote in front of this wall. That's really not what you want. It's pretty annoying when it happens. You do a back reach through that wall, then you come over here. And you're going to want to touch right here. You're getting right under, wow, that's hard to, you're getting right under that door, because that's going to end the Thrallway encounter, and that started, or it didn't start the Death Singer encounter, but it got you the Death Singer checkpoint. So now, you come over here, and this is the wall to breach through, right here. You're gonna get right under this Shrieker, hit it with a slam, and hit it with some E-rounds. You're gonna want to primer with E-rounds. You can either use a scout rifle or a hand cannon. I prefer to put the hand cannon on for the acolytes, but it doesn't really matter. And then as you're skating over here, you're gonna want to shoot this knight a couple times to start the encounter. You'll see it in the bottom left on the chat. It'll say Death Singer prepares the song. So now, I also like to throw a grenade right here sometimes. There we go. Use Raise Lighter. This is why you want to run Warrior of Light as well. Another reason, besides just the Sword Bearer. Makes those knights go down easier. But you kill those knights, and then the wizard will come out. You do RB, RT on her, and then another RB. Jump up here. You should be able to 3-shot the Shrieker. Maybe 2-shot it if you got some final round going on, but I did not. So now what I like to do, to be as safe as possible, I like to throw this right here, and then kill this guy with my sword. He's usually over here on the right, where he belongs. And I'll explain why I'm killing those knights later, but there's also going to be a wizard that spawns now that I kill those knights, but we're just going to ignore her and go straight over here. And now, the best way to kill these knights is to get them under you while they're really not behaving. I'm hitting them. Slam. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I didn't miss it. I killed him. If you slam directly on top of an enemy, you'll get like a weird glitch where you double slam. I'm going to kill these acolytes so I can focus, so I can talk. You get like a double slam. You don't really need to, but what you want to try to do is slam both of these knights and get them really low, but it's not a big deal. And to be safe, it's what I like to do. I like to kill all the Thrall and both of those two knights. Those acolytes back there don't really matter. They shouldn't really be a problem, but I killed them anyways. And then now, once you have all the ads cleared out, you're free to kill your youth. Hit her with some RBRTs with the sword. I've been going really slow. I've been talking a lot, so she started the liturgy. You really want to kill her before she starts the liturgy, but it's not really a big deal. Just for demonstration. And now, if you notice, those acolytes and that wizard out there are going to despawn. So I threw a grenade at those two knights and the 3 acolytes out there, and I killed them, and that spawned the wizard. If I didn't do that, if I just let them go and I came in here, once I killed Ute, right now those knights would still be out there. But for some reason, if you kill the knights and the acolytes and the wizard spawns and goes out there, once you kill Ute, that wizard will despawn. So that's why I get rid of those knights, because those knights aren't going to go away, and whenever you're fighting Crota, if you have knights out there, it's really annoying. They'll be shooting at you the whole time. They're a pain in the ass. So that's just the way I like to do it. That's my strategy. It's not the fastest. It's not like 100% perfectly optimized. Nothing in this run is like perfectly optimized. Not most things, but you still can afford to be a little bit safe on 390 Crota, because it's still it's still not an easy raid to solo in general. So whenever you're speedrunning it, you can afford some safety strats. Like the current world record is 1531 by me, and that can come down. That can come down a lot. The current world record is a 2-sword, and I'll explain the sorting in a second. But I did all the strats that I did in this. All the safety strats are in that record, so you can still go for those and get record if you want to. And now, as soon as I kill Ute, I would immediately step on the crystal. But I've been talking. I want to explain this a little bit first. So now is the time we put on Dragon's Breath and we put on Defender. And all this stuff is good. Everything else is good. What about these boots? Holy shit, those are good boots, man. Can you imagine if those would have had? Can you imagine if those would have been int dis? They would have been insane. That's a shame. Oh, these are actually really. Oh, dude, that's crazy. But so now that you're on Crota, you'll have a synth ready if you popped it early, like I was talking about before. So pop a synth now. It's a good time. So sorting on Crota, you can go for, if you want to be extremely safe. I got my first sub 20-minute time on Crota on 390 Crotas End with a 4-sword. I'm not gonna cover a 4-sword at all, because that's way too safe. A 3-sword is still consistent and safe, and it'll get you like like a sub. You can get a sub. I think you can get a sub 17 time with a 3 sword, honestly. A 2 sword is a little bit harder, a little bit less consistent, but it's gonna be, that's what's in the record. So if you want to get the record, dude, I would recommend going for a 2 sword. So I'll just get this started and I'll explain it as I go. If you want to, you can breach through this wall. It's a tough breach. It's a little bit different than any other breach. I wouldn't recommend going for it because it doesn't really save that much time. And I think if you step on the Crystal Waterway, that the walls might break open early. I don't really know. But these knights in here, I like to kill all the acolytes in here, and I like to kill the knights on the right side. I don't think you have to kill any of the knights, but I like to keep these guys in kind of a flinch cycle with my shotgun. And then once I kill all the adds on this right side, I come over here, and you can kind of throw a grenade right here, kill all these acolytes. There we go. And these knights over here are not going to come out. They're not going to leave the room, so you can just ignore them. So now, what's going to happen is I am going to run straight out. I like to place my bubble first, so I can kill the sword bearer with weapons of light. So I'll explain the damage first. So, if you're going for a 3 sword, I'll just do a 3 sword. I think a 2 sword, if you can execute a 3 sword and you want to go for a 2 sword, I would recommend just watching any of my runs that I have a 2 sword in. I think I have just a 2 sword uploaded to my channel that is pretty textbook. So, I'll go over 3 sword for this tutorial because a 3 sword will get you it'll get you like a minute from the record. You can probably even get closer if you optimize the rest of the run. So for a safe 3 sword, on my first sword, I'll go RT, RB, RT, RT. That's 3.5 slams. That's safe, good damage. I'll do that for the first 2 swords. And then I'll kill ogres. And then on the 3rd sword, I'll do a double down if I have to. You can do enough damage in 3 downs to kill him, but I think it's safer to just go for a double down because going for like 4.5 so you can get slammed by Crota. 3.5, I'm going for RT, RB, RT, RT. You can get 3 RT slams, or I mean 4 RT slams in RB, but that's really hard. And that's what you probably much have to do if you're going for a 2 sword, but let me just stop fucking talking to get this going. So I skate out here. If you don't have a lot of health, actually you can go downstairs and you can jump up and place this bubble. You don't have to skate along the little walkway, that's kind of sketchy. So pull up over here, and then grab this. Shotgun the shit out of this guy. And then, wow. What you can do is get a force barrier, and the reason I'm unbreakable is because you can see that it's recharging the force barrier. So jump up here with Dragon's Breath, shoot it right there. You might want to come up here and shoot him a couple times with your hand cannon. And as soon as you see him going down, you come in, go RT, RB, RT, RT. Now, I forgot to mention, you do want shotgun ammo. You run through the bubble again, then you jump up here, and then you're going to want to shotgun spam the hell out of this Oversoul. If you have weapons of light, you should be able to 7-shot it. If you have this helmet on, gain a temporary increase to weapon damage while Oversoul's gaze is active. That's really helpful for shotgunning the Oversoul. You don't need this helmet, it's not important. You can shotgun the Oversoul. You see I had a lot of time. The Oversoul wasn't going to wipe me for a little bit, so I had a hell of time. I was chilling. If you don't have the helmet, you just have to put a couple more shotgun shells into it. Obviously, make sure you have shotgun ammo before you do the down. I didn't really say anything about that. I just kind of noticed, and we're chilling. But so now you go down here in this room, and what you're going to want to do is get your bubble back before he rotates back. You have buku time to get this bubble back. There's pretty much infinite thrall. Watch out for this guy. He's kind of a dick. Wow, dude, everything on the ceiling has collision. That's kind of crazy. So I have my bubble back. One thing that I like, one place I like to go is up here. If you stand up here, you have really good eyes on Crota. You can see as soon as he rotates, and as soon as he rotates, you can jump straight right there and put the bubble down. That's what I like. That's the way I like to do it. Make sure, always make sure, anytime you have downtime, that your Dragon's Breath is loaded. Sometimes I use Dragon's Breath on the ogres, and sometimes I forget to load it, and you don't want to jump up with the sword and realize that your Dragon's Breath isn't loaded, because if you're going for a double down, that can lose you some time, and maybe the run as well. Get your sword, get your force barrier again, you grab the sword, jump up here. to this. That time, I got a little bit more damage. You want to look at the initial damage number that you get with Dragon's Breath, because that can determine how many hand cannon shots you need to put into him. RT, RT. I went in a little bit early. That was actually not a very safe down. I don't know why I went in so early. Got a little bit antsy. Oh shit, I brought the sword up here. Dude, if you bring the sword up here with you, be careful. Because whenever you're reload canceling, you can actually pick up the sword and press RT and fling yourself off the map with it, so make sure you don't do that. That's the most annoying thing you can do. So if you go for a 3 sword, you have to deal with ogres. They're not that big of a deal, but they can be pretty annoying. So, for this ogre to come out, he's gonna come out. There's gonna be one coming out of the sword and one coming out on the other side. I like to stay right here so I can get a grenade down. Throw the nade. Start spamming the ogre. Then I pull my Dragon's Breath out, and it's a really safe way to kill this ogre is just to use a shitload of Dragon's Breath ammo on him. You should have plenty at this point. Wow, I just took a lot of damage. That's kind of scary. You can get a force barrier. Actually, I don't know if you can get a force barrier. There's not that many Thrall. So, you can use Dragon's Breath on the ogres. I would say make sure you don't go below maybe 3 shots in your Dragon's Breath, because when you do this double down up here, you might need 3 shots for your Dragon's Breath. Kill all the Curse Thrall, because they are pretty much the main threat here. They can totally wreck your life. And now, kill the Sword Bearer whenever he comes out. If you kill those ogres fast enough, the Sword Bearer should be ready for you. If you don't kill the ogres fast enough, the Sword Bearer might take a little bit longer, so you have to play a little bit faster, but with the Sword Bearer, put the bubble down. I mean, that hurts. And double down might be a little bit sketchy because the sword's kind of far away. You want to kill the Sword Bearer closer to your platform. You do damage from, but it's fine. Come up here, shoot this. And you could also maybe afford to freaking throw a grenade on that first down. Same combo. Now what you can do is shoot this, throw a grenade if you want. Wow, there's Curse Thrall everywhere. That was okay. So there is an example of a double down. To be honest, that was a really bad double down. That was really unsafe. My sword almost despawned. Double down, if you're doing a 3 sword, it should be a lot safer than that. So I'll kind of explain the problem. What you can do, if the Sword Bearer is fast enough, is you can kind of shoot and lure him over here, and you can kill him right here. Then go up and put your bubble down, and then you should be able to just grab the sword and jump straight up, and then you'll have way more time with the sword. My sword was all the way over here. The farther your sword away, the farther your sword is away, the harder it's going to be to do a double down, because whenever you pick the sword up, a timer starts. The timer starts as soon as you pick the sword up, and the longer you have to run, harder it is. Whenever I jumped up here, when I was doing my double down, I jumped up and I shot. What you can do is, instead of shooting him with a hand cannon, you'll have one grenade. You can throw a grenade right there, and it'll pretty much always hit him. And that's gonna make him down faster, which makes it easier to be fast enough to get the double down in. So I went in, I did 3.5 again, just like I had all the other times. And then, if you do 3.5 every single time, that'll get you. You'll have 3.5 on the first sword. Second sword, you'll have 7, and then you'll have 10.5 swings in by the time you hit the third down, like I just had right there. And it takes 11.5 to kill Crota. So, if I did 3.5 all the other times, all it took was 1 slam. So, another thing I was gonna talk about is the reason that I say have 3 Dragon's Breath shots is because once I jumped up, shot it, threw the nade, and I downed him. I did 3.5 on the first down on that last sword. What I like to do sometimes is, as soon as he gets up, I'll jump up, shoot Dragon's Breath again, and then I'll reload the Dragon's Breath, and then as soon as it's reloaded, I'll jump up and I'll shoot another Dragon's Breath shot, and that'll make him down really fast, and that's a really safe way to get a double down in. If you only have 2 Dragon's Breath shots, I only used 2 right there, so that's another way you could do it. The way I did it is just... The way I did it was just kind of, I don't know, do normal downs every single time, but... It's a nice little 3 sword on Crota. Let's go to orbit real quick and see what the time was. I was explaining a lot of stuff during that, so it's not gonna be too fast of a run. 24:06. It's fine. If you eliminate all the downtime from that run, you probably could have got a sub 20 pretty comfortably, but that's about it, man. 2 sword saves about a minute. A 1 sword has never been done before in a run, but if it was done, it would save a lot of time. See, if there's anything else anything else to be said? Dude, I don't know. Found Verdict can pretty much be replaced with any shotgun that is found around full auto. I like to use this Matador because it does more damage and I think it holds more ammo too. But Found Verdict was really nice. As you could see, it 1 mags sword bearers with no buffs, which is pretty cool. Dude, GG. I'm gonna go get this video up and I'm gonna find some tutorials that I can put in the description. And maybe they might not be tutorials, they might just be like PDR showcases or like Emote Breach. I think some pretty good Emote Breach tutorials out there, but you're gonna want to learn those 2 emote tricks before you go for these. If you're not really interested in speedrunning and you just want to get a 390 solo, I do have a tutorial on that for Warlocks. It's a little bit easier, doesn't require any emote tricks. You can check that out. But dude, that's about all I have, dude. GG.